So I finally played Amazon's MMORPG called New World. And let's just say, I had lots of fun on my beginning playthrough of New World. And keep in mind, this version of the preview is what we would have got if they stuck to the original release date of the game in August 25th. So as we all know, New World was supposed to release on the 25th, and it earned its way to be one of the most anticipated MMORPGs for 2020. But a lot of things started happening. The game went through 2 pushes. It was supposed to release almost 3 months ago. A lot has been going on at Amazon, and they feel like they should push the game even further so their player base is happy. So they pulled the plug on the game and told us there will be a new release date in spring 2021. But due to the fact the game is being heavily pre-ordered, the devs is allowing people to play the game that was going to be released. So in today's video, I will be discussing my first initial thoughts of the game and what I feel like what could change in the next couple of months, and how well the game would be if they didn't cancel its release date. See you in the video. So first things first, I'm going to cover over a couple of topics that should explain a little bit of how New World is feel. So the first topic we're going to go over is the gameplay experience itself. And one, the customization is very lackluster. So don't expect to create an awesome, cool character, make it look cute, sexy, or whatever. Don't expect that. It's going to be real bland and to the point. The gameplay in combat does feel a bit clunky, like your character is just moving like a sloth, and that's one of my biggest things I didn't like about it. It didn't feel fluid. The combat was not fluid. There was no flow. It was just there. The more you use your weapons, the weapon mastery will go up for each weapon. Gathering from bushes help you get wood to help with crafting new items, and eating certain rations will heal you over time for 20 minutes. So there's a lot of things that they did promise to us, because a lot of game developers like to promise something beforehand, and it's not really there. Well, when they were making their weekly newsletter or every so often newsletters, they stayed true to what they were saying in their newsletters. Gathering is also interesting due to the fact you can gather many items in many different ways in the world of New World. Like a logging axe is used for the trees, a skinning knife is for the animals after you kill the animal, mainly there's boars in the starting area. Pickaxes are of course for your ores and mining, and a sickle is for most plants in the games. So there are certain other plants like fungus and mushroom stuff that you can use a sickle for, and the bushes you could just gather it as is. And my biggest thing about this, because the game does require travel, is the fact of there are no mounts. So it's so bad that there's no mounts that it feels like you're walking across a planet. Like you get sent to your first safe house, and it's like a gazillion miles away from where you need to go. But once you complete majority of the tutorial, you'll reach the main hub area, which is called the First Light, which that is your territory. Our next little feature for New World is the combat. So like I said, combat was clunky and just didn't feel right, didn't have no flow, there's no fluidity. Well, guess what? There's also no lock-on feature, so mainly just aim your reticle over the enemy. The combat is based on simplicity, such as light and heavy attacks, a block, a dodge, and every time you dodge, you drain your stamina meter. But running doesn't drain your meter, and blocking attacks doesn't drain your meter. And you also do have abilities that go for a hotkey, and the entire time you're kind of playing this game, and if you are a fan of the Souls games, you would start to get a Dark Souls vibe. But of course, Dark Souls did the combat better. You do obtain a bow and arrow, and it feels amazing getting headshots. Somehow, someway, I came across a mountain peppered lynx that was a level 18, and let's just say, everybody, he destroyed me. He viciously ate me apart, and he destroyed my bones and body, and he was very hostile as well. Great, I know. Now, my favorite weapon that I obtained in this game was the Warhammer. It hits like a truck, and it hurts a lot. Like, I was destroying most mobs like they were just nothing, like they didn't exist. I was blowing through them like crazy, and I love the Warhammer. So let's actually focus on the story for all of my lore people out there. So New World is just a MMORPG that is in sandbox that is set in a cursed and supernatural version of Northern America in the 17th century. Players can be anything they want, from farmers to soldiers to lone wolves, as what you do. And whom you work with or against is entirely up to you. So this is kind of getting like a LBN Online vibe. I see that a lot of devs are trying to let players be what they want to be instead of it being a fixed game. The land of New World will be evolving, one that changes with the seasons, weathers, and the time of day. You can work with others to reclaim monster-haunted wilds, and you can build new civilizations. Or if you prefer, you can go solo, surviving in the face of horrific monsters and bloodthirsty player bandits. So on to the biggest topic, and it's kind of bad. It's pretty bad. Like, this is what turned me off a little bit most about this game. It's the questing. So it does have your basic, almost in any MMORPG, your basic kill quests. You go over there, kill 5 of these monsters, come back, turn into quests. You have your basic fetch quests, which is go over here, go pick up that item and bring it back. But the thing about these quests, and it's like I played this game for like the first 2 or so hours, the quests are highly repetitive, almost too bland and repetitive, as you can feel that the game is solely based on PvP. Nothing about PvE. I could tell the devs need to really work on just the PvE factor. It ties in with the leveling. So at level 5, you will be able to use 2 weapons, and you do have different attributes which can govern your strength, your dexterity, your intelligence, your focus, and your constitution. Now, in my playthrough, I've mastered the sword a couple of times, was able to level up and obtain new abilities. So every time you use a weapon, Warhammer, the arrow, or the sword, or whatever weapon you choose, you can start leveling it up once you use that specific weapon a couple more times. There is a third slot, so you can have 3 weapons, but it's only unlocked at level 30, which in my opinion, I feel like it's a little bit too much, because that means you're only stuck with 2 weapons and you're going to keep obtaining weapons. But at the same time, it's not too bad. You can work with it. Just pick whatever your 2 weapons and leave the rest away. So my initial thoughts on New World preview is the game is actually pretty good. And I had lots of fun, even though my biggest gripe about this game is the simple fact that there isn't much content there. If you're wanting a single player experience, due to the questing being lackluster and quite empty to say the least, for some reason I couldn't really stop playing the game though. So it has the fun abilities, it just needs to be worked on just a little bit. Do I believe New World still needs a lot of work? Yes. So I'm quite happy they chose to push the date further back into spring 2021. Granted, for what we're currently playing, this is what they wanted to give us. So take that in a little bit. So if you are playing New World out there, just keep in mind, this is what we would have got on the 25th if they didn't choose to push the date back. There's no mounts, so traveling sucks heavily, questing is empty, and the game is solely pushing towards a PvP experience, and the PvE experience is just meant to upgrade you for siege battles and such. And with that being said, my Outcast, if you have time to play New World, go do so, either by pre-ordering it or re-register. If you have time to go play New World, go do so, either by pre-order or registration. Put some time into yourself, and if so, jot it down in the comments and see if you already played it. If you already played New World, definitely, I want to talk about it. I want to see what your experience is. If you want to play it, comment it, let's talk it up. If you liked in today's video, please hit that like button. If you like the content that I give out, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you know any friends or anybody that wants to play a new MMO, or they already know of New World, then show them this video. And until next time, my Outcast, it's been your boy KSDTV, signing out. Peace.
I don't wanna break down, I've been losing faith now. I've been in my mind, getting used to the pain now. No one else to blame, and it's all on my own. I don't think I'll change, this is all that